My name is Susanne Brüsch. I'm the director of Pedelec Adventures, which I founded in 2011 before we started the first tour to Morocco. Now we just came back from our third Pedelec adventure, which was Iceland Challenge, and this time we were 4 people. Now let me introduce Andreas Gutmann. Okay, and Andy is our filmer, and he did the beautiful Iceland Challenge eFlow through Ice and Fire film. Uwe Schlemender, he takes care of the technical support and also drove the support vehicle. Well, like I said, Iceland Challenge was our third adventure. We started the whole thing with a tour through Morocco, where we pulled big, heavy solar trailers to collect all the energy that we needed from the sun. And while mostly riding on paved roads, we covered up to 170 kilometers per day on speed pedelecs of a new brand. Last year, we went to Mongolia, and the challenge there was to do travel in a completely self-sufficient way. So that time we were also pulling solar trailers, which were much lighter, but still efficient enough and rigid enough for off-road riding. Uwe Schlemender actually constructed and developed the solar charging infrastructure for that, because there's nothing like that you could buy in a shop. So in Iceland, we really faced the elements, and we really put the eFlow bikes to a tough test. We were riding on the eFlow E3 Nitro pedelecs, which, we modified them a little bit to be more suitable for off-road riding, but that's basically the bikes that we were using in Iceland. Let me give you a brief introduction on the background of this adventure. I just told you how Pedelec Adventures started, and the idea behind it is to develop travel concepts that are especially designed for electric bicycles. We organize and ride the tours ourselves, and then spread our unique photos, films, and stories into the international media. These tests are designed as a product field test and also as an inspiration to the light electric vehicle industry. Well, why did we choose Iceland? It's probably not the first country that comes to your mind when you think about traveling on an electric bike, and German summers are not famous to be hot and warm. So why do you have to go to Iceland? But we have seen a lot of pictures from Iceland, and there's such a fascination about the country's nature that we really wanted to go there. It has been a dream for a long time. And then our main sponsor, like the whole team, was behind it and said, "Oh yeah, Iceland, cool. I love Iceland. I've always wanted to go there." So the decision was easily made. Talking about the highlights of the tour, the most amazing thing was that we had 24 hours of daylight. We went there in June and July. And like I said, it never got dark, and it was just too beautiful to go sleep at nighttime. So we kept traveling all the nights long and slept for a few hours during the day. And the great thing about it was that during the nighttime, you don't have any people in the most touristic spots. During the daytime, you see lots of people there. There are huge parking lots in front of Dettifoss waterfall or other highlights. So at nighttime, we had them all to ourselves. And also, we had the most beautiful light, like just before sunset at like 12 at midnight, and just after sunrise at like 3 in the morning. And at 3:30, you would definitely need your sunglasses. it was just a wonderful experience to cycle around Iceland and really face the elements. I mean, we had chilly temperatures, we had lots of wind, we had lots of rain, but all this made us feel like we were doing something unique, and we were really facing a challenge there. In total, we drove 4,000 kilometers in Iceland alone, and it was our goal to cover the most scenic spots all over Iceland. So we started in the east, we traveled down to the south to Reykjavik, we included the remote West Fjords, and then headed north, and then traveled into the highlands and back to the east coast. In 4 weeks, we could not do all this distance, including filming and photo shooting by bike. So we covered about 1,500 kilometers on the bikes. Oh, they did a really good job. I mean, when you look at them, they're more or less, although they have this mountain bike look, they're more or less designed for urban usage. And actually, they were most fun to ride on paved roads and on good gravel roads. But with the little modifications that we did with the suspension fork and off-road tires, they did a great job even in the rough terrain of the highlands. And we crossed many rivers, and sometimes the wheels were in the water up to here. And so I recommend not to repeat this necessarily, because the motor is splash water protected, and we sealed them with extra silicone to make them really waterproof, because of course we didn't want to take the risk. But yeah, they were just a lot of fun to ride. And they looked cool, and wherever we went, like people were asking and were looking at them and wanted to test ride. So they really caught a lot of attention. In Iceland, electric bikes are a pretty new thing, but there is one specialized dealer in Reykjavik, and we also went there and visited him. And he said that he sells about 500 units per year, but basically it's just starting. But cycling in general is getting more popular in Iceland right now. Well, the most impressive thing was to dive in the gap between the American and the European continental plates. The water was ice cold and crystal clear. It was like 1 degree Celsius. And we were wearing dry suits. And then after the dive, we sat on the eFlow bike, rode back to the diving station with all our diver's gear on. So that was pretty crazy. And what else was great? We met a pilot by chance, and he invited us for a flight. And he had 4 people Russian yak, and we met on a very small airfield. There was basically nothing, just a huge meadow. So we rode there with the bikes, and then exchanged a bike ride for a flight. And the pilot enjoyed the bike ride just as much as we enjoyed the flight over Landmannalauga, which is one of the most beautiful landscapes in the highlands of Iceland.
Yes, it was also very nice to take a swim in all these hot springs that you have in Iceland, because you're always freezing. You're always out in 10 or 5 degree surrounding, and when you see a hot spot and you go in, you never want to go out. He just slept one night in one. That was so nice. That was quite funny.
All wrinkled after.
And we also took a swim in a crater, in a hot crater lake in the middle of Askja. It's right in the middle of the highlands of Iceland. And it's a milky green water. You don't want to get in first, but it's so amazing when you swim there.
It's a good thing you're mentioning Askja, because when you walk up to the crater, It's a huge crater. It's 50 square kilometers large, and when it erupted the last time in 1875, I think, stones were flying down to continental Europe, so you can imagine how strong the eruption was. And today, part of the crater has a crater lake, and there's this little crater lake next to it, which is warm water, and you can swim in there. Yeah.
So the biggest challenge for filming was I had 5 cameras with me. 2 professional full HD cameras and 3 action cameras. So I have always adjust the problem. How can I adjust it? And I was alone filming, you know. I have a 3-pod for 1 professional camera and the 3 action cameras, and we adjusted it. And then it was always cameras were always running. Yeah, and then I have so many data at the end and no stable electricity, you know. It was always everything you have to make with batteries and to charge it, and but we fixed it. It was good. The result was very good.
Well, talking about charging, that was in general one of the biggest challenges. While riding close to the ring road, it's no problem because you have enough campsites where you have electricity outlets. But as soon as you get into the highlands, you need to make sure you have enough energy supply. And we carried 12 396 volt watt-hour batteries, which gave us quite a range to ride. But still, we needed to be careful about what we use electricity for. And then we had 4 computers, 9 cameras, 8 telephones, and everything needed to be charged. Don't forget the charger.